Good morning and welcome to day one of IMTS 2016. I'm your host, Emily Barta, and we are sitting here coming to you from the IMTS TV studio where we will change your perspective. This is IMTS Today. And sitting next to me is Peter Eelman, who is the Vice President of Exhibitions and Business Development for the Association for Manufacturing Technology. Peter, here we are again. It's starting.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a little bit early. I know people aren't used to seeing me dressed quite like this on the first morning of the show, but you know, we still got a little bit of work to do.
Yes, we do.
It's a little early, and we still got some carpeting we got to finish up, and we got a few things we got to kind of tweak out there, and you know, before you know it, you'll be seeing me the way you're used to seeing me, with a nice tie on and a big smile on my face.
Well, the show is about to begin, and a great way to kick off a show is an opening ceremony, but there are two opening ceremonies this year, not just one. So talk to us about this.
You know, IMTS is a pretty big event, and we got a lot of territory. We have two buildings that open at an early hour, two buildings that open an hour later. So we thought, why not? Let's do two opening ceremonies. Kind of one's in one direction, one's in a different direction. So we said, let's do it. So we have two, not one, two opening ceremonies this year.
So what time is the first one?
Beginning at 8:30 at the entrance to the East Building, or also known here as the Lakeside Center. We're going to kick off our initial opening ceremony, and that is going to feature the history of IMTS and the future of IMTS. We are going to be welcoming a gentleman who this IMTS 2016, will be his 25th IMTS. Now, that normally you'd say, okay, wow, that's pretty good, every 2 years. But way back in the beginning of that, IMTS was only every 5 years. So his 25th IMTS means that his first IMTS was in 1960.
Think of how much his perspective has changed throughout the years.
Can you imagine? This guy's actually seen more IMTSs than I have.
Yeah.
Which
that is hard to imagine.
Out there that are walking around like that. But when we were in contact with this gentleman and discussing the history and the rich things that he's learned over the years at the show, it kind of set us to thinking that he's seen manufacturing from a completely different perspective. And IMTS kind of introduces the next perspective. So we invited another gentleman to help us open this ceremony, and he is 11 years old, and he attended the last IMTS, his first IMTS. We'll see if he makes 25, but he already has one in the books, and he did a very interesting little video that he posted. And we were able to spot it. He didn't do it for us. We just spotted it out there on social media and said, what a great juxtaposition. We have someone who's seen manufacturing the way it was in 1960, and a young gentleman who's going to see manufacturing off and on into the future.
And chances are he's going to change all of our perspectives.
There is no doubt that what he's going to learn at this IMTS is going to be mainstream in a very short period of time. So we're going to get together and we're going to talk about that with these two young and older gentlemen, but we're also going to focus this on the future, and our Vice President of Smart Force Development, Greg Jones, is going to give a little talk about our Student Summit and the Smart Force Student Summit here at IMTS. So we'll talk about educating that next generation in the next manufacturing techniques, how the students are going to be visiting the show and touring around, and we'll have a record number of students at this show. We already know that.
So we talked about the first opening ceremony at 8:30 a.m. Where is that located?
That is at the entrance to the East Building. It will be as people cross the big bridge over Lakeshore Drive. They'll come to the bottom of the bridge and you'll see the gaggle of folks over there. We'll cut the ribbon probably a few minutes before 9 o'clock, and the first IMTS visitors will be allowed on the floor at 9.
Wow, it's almost time. Okay, the second opening ceremony.
All right,
Tell us about that.
At 9, the East Building and the West Building open. But in the center, we have the North and the South. And those two buildings, we've got 1 hour shift. They open at 10, close at 6. So when we're opening the North and the South buildings, that will be in the Grand Concourse on the Grand Stage. right in the center. I don't think you can miss it, right in the middle of the concourse. Actually, that's where you see Emily's smiling face, big and bold and looking out on the crowd.
A lot of other
and
people's
discussing
smiling
people.
faces as well.
Well, I think you're there more than anybody else. But in that concourse, we will have our opening ceremony there with the United States Secretary of Commerce, Penny Pritzker. She will be talking about the future of manufacturing and some of the new digital manufacturing initiatives that we are doing in cooperation with the United States government.
Wonderful. And what time is that?
That will be beginning at 9:30.
Okay.
So 8:30 for the East Building, 9:30 for the North and South Building, leading up to the ribbon cutting for each, which will be less than a minute before 9 o'clock and less than a minute before 10 o'clock.
Perfect. Now that is a big change since 2014, but there are many other changes that have occurred over the past 2 years that we're going to be seeing here at IMTS 2016. Talk to me about what has happened with additive manufacturing. Wow.
2 years ago, really let me say this, more than 2 years ago, just about 6 years ago, additive manufacturing started to make a little bit of an appearance at IMTS in the Emerging Technology Center. Over the last couple of shows, it's become the sensation of the Emerging Technology Center, including last year's famous first 3D printed car.
Yeah.
Okay? That additive manufactured vehicle, sensational, but first of its kind, total prototype, everyone was interested in it. I mean, it made an appearance on the Today Show afterward. It's more famous than any of us. But now, 2 years later, additive manufacturing is mainstream. Whereas at the last show was in the Emerging Technology Center, this show they have their very own pavilion.
Yes.
There are a number of additive machinery companies at IMTS in their pavilion, which is actually in the North Building, front of the North Building, that are going to be marketing and introducing our audience to additive manufacturing applications today that are in manufacturing plants today. So in 2 years, we've gone from kind of an idea to something that is very much in the mainstream.
So definitely be sure to check out the brand new Additive Manufacturing Pavilion located at the front of the North Hall. Now that's just one change. What are some more changes that we're going to see?
Well, you know, one of the things that IMTS always marks is the introduction of technology and the introduction of the technology into more and more products. What has gone on in the last few years is a rapid absorption of digital manufacturing into the marketplace. Probably one of the highlights of that is that years ago, IMTS was the launch pad for MT Connect. MT Connect being our software standard that enables machine information to be accessed from different machines via the internet. It's become the industry standard. What we're seeing now at IMTS is something that's unique. It's becoming common for MT Connect to be in the products that are on the show floor, so common that it's no longer something that you see the MT Connect sign everywhere, because it's assumed to be in a lot of the machinery. That is a real step forward in digital manufacturing, and that's really something that every 2 years we notice, wow, it's a new idea, it's being brought into the mainstream, and now it's common.
Now there are a lot of innovations every time at IMTS, but there's also a lot of cool stuff featured here at the show. So what's cool this time?
Well, I'll tell you, after we built that 3D printed car, the additive manufactured car, that was a famous question from the very end of the last show to now. How do you top a digitally printed car? Well, what's bigger than a car?
A house?
Bingo. So we're going to 3D print and digitally print a house. The house is on site. When you enter the Grand Concourse and head off into the North Building, the Emerging Technology Center features Amy. What is Amy?
Who is Amy?
Or who is Amy? What is Amy? It is additive manufactured integrated energy. That is a house that was digitally designed, built using the additive manufacturing process, solar panels, totally self-energizing. It's even got the vehicle that tows it around, which was 3D printed. So that's all located in the Emerging Technology Center, along with some other things that are kind of breaking new ground in the additive manufacturing world. We've got a display of various human body replacement parts So, we all are getting a little older, at least I am. So somewhere along the line, you might need some wrists and some elbow and
some sternum,
some
hips,
gotta hopefully,
some knees.
and hopefully you won't need. There's a little bit of a cranium
Is there
in the
really?
one. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't need that one with all this IMTS stuff. But at any rate, we've got a lot of really human body extension parts that are very close to becoming part of the mainstream. Also tech trends. One of the things that we'll be introducing at this show that visitors can take a look at and look in the future is a new app product that AMT is developing called Tech Trends. How do you keep up with all this stuff? How do you keep up with additive manufacturing? How do you keep up with what's next, the digital world? Well, every manufacturer has different specific interests. We are developing at AMT an app called Tech Trends that will enable you to customize a research engine to go out and find what is the latest technology in the area that you're interested in. So all of that is wrapped together in the Emerging Technology Center.
Well, and there are a lot of people here at IMTS 2016 who are going to be wandering around the show floor looking for all of this latest technology. Why don't you update us on our brand new opening numbers?
Well, it will be more than 100,000.
Wow.
There'll be 100,000 just this morning as we open the show. We know we're over 101,000 in our registration database. So, normally at the show we go 15,000 or so people that come and register on site. So somewhere in the mid-teens, 115, somewhere around there will be our total registration. And they're coming to shop, they're coming to buy, they're coming to see something cool. And one more cool thing, can I mention?
Of course.
One more cool thing, we have not only Amy on site, but we have Ollie on site.
Oh,
so
Ollie.
we have Amy and Ollie here on site. Ollie being the autonomous additive manufactured vehicle produced by Local Motors, our good partners who developed the 3D printed car, and visitors to IMTS who head down to the C level of the North Building, lower level, back of the North Building, will be able to take a ride in the IMTS ride experience, get a ride in an autonomous bus that is developed in conjunction with IBM Watson technology and Local Motors, and that is going to be one of the highlights of the show. And when you walk away from there, you'll even get your own little driver's license with your picture that you rode in an autonomous vehicle.
See, there is just so much to do and see here at IMTS 2016.